prison, schools, China. Yet again, inaction man fails to heed the warning and then blames everyone else for the consequences. Mr. Speaker, on Sunday, the Home Secretary celebrated her first anniversary in post. That is, if you overlook the 6 days she missed when she was deemed a national security risk. In that year, 40,000 people have crossed the Channel on a small boat, and the taxpayer is now spending £6 million a day on hotel bills. He's failing to stop terrorists strolling out of prison, failing to guard Britain against hostile actors. He's completely failing to stop the boats. How can anyone trust him to protect the country?
Well, Mr. Speaker, he talks about trust. He talks about action. Just today, this government is taking action to reform defective EU laws to unlock over 100,000 homes, boosting our economy, supporting jobs and ensuring that we can realise the aspirations of homeowners. Now, he talks about trust. He tried in this House to talk the talk on house building. But at the first sign of a cheap political hit, what did he do? He's caved in, Mr. Speaker. Rather than make the right long-term decisions for the country, he's taken the easy way out. It is typical of the principles-free, conviction-free type of leadership that he offers. Flip-flopping from being a builder to a blocker. Mr. Speaker, the British public can't trust a word he says.
Wow. So, so Keir Starmer trying to tie it all together on probation, prisons, schools, China. How can anyone trust him to protect the country? And I suspect this is born out of, and we've heard it a little bit in some of the focus groups as well, that one of the strengths that Rishi Sunak does have is, with some voters at least, or a bit of purchase, this sort of boring technocrat.
Yeah.
Possibly doing the right thing because he could be off earning money elsewhere if he if he wasn't doing this.
Yeah, and this is going to be his big argument at the general election, that, I'm making decisions for the long term, even if I don't benefit from them politically, I'm doing the right thing for the country. That's going to be his big argument. The flip side of that is that it takes him a long time to do things, and they don't always bear immediate fruit. And I thought Inaction Man's
quite good.
Well, it got a laugh and a sort of nervous tittery, quite a sort of, oh, that's good. There was a sort of, I'd be very surprised if we don't hear quite a lot of
Quite a lot of Inaction Man.
Yeah.
Oh, God, it's going to be the thing they all repeat at party conference, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like it's the first time.
Every single speech will have a shadow minister explaining why he's failed.
Because he mentioned Jeremy Corbyn earlier. There was a year when every single Tory minister mentioned Venezuela, made a joke about and being Caracas. And there was quite a lot of hoops that you had to jump through to get from Jeremy Corbyn to Caracas. But anyway.
And then Sunak's response,
yes,
which was he didn't even bother to, no pretense of answering that question. He hit him with this stuff which we talked about a couple of weeks ago about
nutrient
neutrality and how that makes it very, very difficult to build homes, and the government's changed on it. And Sunak's right. Starmer did bring this up quite a lot. We had 2 or 3 sessions on housing, didn't we? And, that will be their argument. You give them a chance to support something sensible and they don't do it. The response to that would be, well, we're the opposition and, we're not here to make your life easy.
And actually, it's long been one of those things that you get the sense that the government doesn't seem sufficiently gripped by the salience of the rivers issue. All the Lib Dems seem to talk about is sewage and rivers because it clearly
I've got
has
a friend on a WhatsApp group who you know well, who never shuts up about it. It's poop in the rivers, poop in the seas. It's like the centre of his life.
Well, because it's really easy to understand.
Yes, it is.
It's dirty. It's a powerful image.
Quite. And if you want to say the country's gone to SHIT.
Well, there it is.
There we go.
And
it's
so the idea
the
that the government, the idea that Rishi Sunak thinks the right policy to pursue right now is one that leads to more stuff ending up in rivers. Whatever the arguments in favour of house building, that's a hard sell.
It's a hard sell, but it's also it's one of those decisions that, if you're serious about trying to get things done, maybe there's an argument for it.
Yeah.
And this is politics. It's all about trade-offs. And what it is then about, if you're the person making those decisions, is explaining them clearly, rather than using them as a punchline in PMQs, where most people listening who aren't having the benefit of pausing and having, listening to us two, who has a clue what he's talking about? They're just sitting there thinking, well, he's not answering the question. I mean, the point he's making is sort of interesting and legitimate, but it's not very good politics. The way he could have been a little bit more explicit about it.